So I am first making sure that this is working because it just does nobody any good if it's not. Ba, 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 do, 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 and there we are. There we are. So, welcome. Today we are going to do our live workout session. It's rainy outside here in Vancouver. And so we are going to do it in the comfort of my new home for the time being. I just want to add this to the connected community, so that is in there. And I'm going to do it in the hallway. And I was told by a coach of mine years ago that if you can create a full body workout for your client in an elevator, then you're not a very good coach. So this isn't an elevator, but as you can see, it is a hallway. So there's not a whole lot of extra room, but essentially this is where we are going to train today. And I'm just going to set up one more thing. So I can kind of go from a couple of different levels here. So I'm going to take off my stuff. And so what I've been doing with these sessions, and it is entitled Mind to Muscle to Spiritual Mastery. And essentially there's a very intentional component woven into the fabric of the movement. So instead of just counting repetitions or feeling the pain that the body has to offer up when we build up things like lactic acid and different things like that from the actual movement components, we are actually using the movement as a catalyst to create change internally. And so things like neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to change structurally and functionally, are dramatically improved and increased when we're moving, as well as the vigorousness or the passion that happens when we're moving. I mean, you try to do resistance training and not feel invigorated, not have a passion come up from you, and so that passion is an elevated emotion, and it's in terms of like creating what we want, in terms of rewiring the brain, in terms of like manifestation. There's a very scientific methodology woven into that, and it's about thinking what we want, which sends out an electrical impulse. Thoughts are essentially the language of the brain, and the feeling is the language of the body. The feeling draws it back to you. So the feeling is a magnetic impulse. And again, if you're just sitting there meditating and you're thinking, okay, I want to be healthier, I want to be wealthier, I want to, want lots of money or provide lots of service, whatever it is, oftentimes during the meditation, it's very hard to come up with an elevated emotion to marry with those thoughts that you're sending out. And so the movement will really aid you in elevating that emotion. And so, as you're sending that signal out and drawing it back to you, you're literally creating evidence in the brain and body. Every time we return to a thought, that same thought, we're strengthening a neural network or a neural pathway in the brain, and that neural pathway creates a certain type of chemistry in the body. And so we're really using the movement. And I was just sitting in a little there, so we can a little bit, so you can see everything. And really, so when we start to move and we're intentionally focused on what we want to create, then the movement, the external stimulus, becomes the catalyst to create a more profound internal shift in our brains and in our bodies, right? Whereas if you're just moving and you're like, kind of that grunt and groan, no pain, no gain kind of mentality that typically is associated with movement, especially, you know, in the gym or resistance training and that sort of thing. Maybe not necessarily dance, for example, or different types of dance or that sort of thing. But with if you're not really mindful, it's kind of like, you know, turning the news on and, you know, just going about your day or getting ready for work or that sort of thing, and the news is going into the subconscious mind, right? Whereas if you're intentional and you're focused on what you're creating and where you're going and how you want to feel, then that intention, that focus is gonna really change everything. So that's kind of the rewiring process that we're going through today. So you can just start with just some stretches. I like to get the cobwebs out of the body a little bit. If you don't have your towel, I would suggest to go get a towel if you're going to follow along today. So towel, a little bit of water, comfy clothes, and the towel is, we're going to weave it into the workout, but right now we're just going to do some hip mobility stuff. So you're just going to rock side to side. Right, and that's just going to open up the hips a little bit, create a little mobility. Really good if you're sitting a lot, then this is a great exercise. Just for the back, just to kind of open things up a little bit. Create a little activation, a little movement in through the hips. Now, where the intentional component comes in, right, we'll just go up. So again, just stretching out. So just one foot up, take it outside of the elbow and the arm, and we can stretch, right? And I want you, as you're doing this, just to start thinking about what you're calling in, right? So what you manifest, whether it's optimal health, whether it's increased energy and vitality, whether it's more money, better relationships, starting a business, finding your purpose, living your mission, creating more service, being in gratitude for the things that you already have, right? So gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. So if you are in full gratitude, right, of what you already have, then you're focused on that gratitude and being in a state of receivership. Because you're focused on gratitude, you're going to get more of what you're grateful of, right? So there's an old saying that what we focus on grows. So if you are, again, having the movement be a catalyst for change, if you're focused on the pain that's being created from the movement that you're doing, well, then it feels like the pain gets more profound. Whereas if you're focused on it and intentionally choosing to create, right? So for me, I'll choose things like love. So we're just going to come up and go into a squat, right? So feet shoulder width apart. You can come down into kind of a prayer position, and you just want to make sure that your back stays nice and flat, right? And as you come up through, you can squeeze the bum. And right, so for me, I'm focused on love, mission, wealth, purpose, ease, flow, gratitude, right? And each one of these words I'm associating with an image, with a picture in my mind, right? Because we think in pictures. You want to be able to really get this so you can see a little bit more. You want to really be able to have each word associated with an image of what you're drawing in, of what your life is going to be like, of how you're going to feel, of what you're going to be living like, you know, when these things happen, as if they're already happened, right? So for me, for love, I see a picture of I'm on the left, my wife is on the right. It's our wedding day. We're holding hands. You can see the ring on the finger. Right? So love for me is that image of what I'm calling into my life. It hasn't really happened yet, except that instills in me a feeling of like excitement, a feeling of, like I can really see it. I can see it. I can feel it. Right. And so every time I think that thought, if you're getting tired, you can take a little rest. I'm getting carried away here, so I'm just going to keep going with the squats. So you can see how my mind's not on the pain associated with squatting and the lactic acid buildup in the system, so I can actually just go forever. Right? And so when I'm thinking about love, or whatever thought that is for you, right? Gratitude, wealth, health, service, mission, purpose, ease and flow in your day. So because I'm thinking about that thought and I return to that thought, it's increasing the strength in a neural pathway, right? Or a neurological network. And every time I return to that, it gets stronger and stronger. And because I'm moving, the brain is very neuroplastic, right? So there's an increased state of my brain's ability to change structurally and functionally. So I'm literally rewiring the subconscious brain, the subconscious programming, while I'm thinking of those thoughts of love. And now because of the movement, there's an invigoration, there's an energetic component, there's I'm passionate, I'm engaged. So now when I think of love and that picture of my wife's and my hand joined on our wedding day, which again hasn't happened yet, it's instilling in me a vibration, emotion of excitement, of really seeing that come to fruition. So now I'm creating literal physical evidence in the brain through the thoughts and in what I'm feeling, the chemistry, which is perpetuated and exponentially increased by the movement component. Okay, so I'm going to go down. So that was, I don't even know how many squats we did, but we did a lot. So we're going to go down now and we're going to do a push-up, right? And so this is, I think, really great. Instead of doing anything too wild and crazy today, we'll just do a mad amount of repetitions, right? So we got legs, squats, we got chest, push-ups, right? So just going down as deep as you can. If it gets to be too much, you can always drop to your knees, right? And just coming forward like that. If it's too easy, then throw some plyos in there, right? So just move the hands in and out. You can play with different things, right? You can come all the way down and you can pop the hands up at the bottom, right? You can switch kind of one hand to the front, one hand to the back, but all the while, whatever movement you're doing, you are focused on your word, which brings the image up of what you're calling into your life, right? So, and you're rewiring the brain, rewiring the subconscious mind, reprogramming the brain, and creating an entirely new type of chemistry in the body instead of focused on the pain from the workout, from the repetitions, that sort of thing. I'm going to do a few more, but I'm going to come nice and wide this time, and you can actually go side to side. All right, so you can play with that. You can actually lift one leg and the other. All right, so that was chest. Okay, now we're gonna add in a little bit of shoulder and a little bit of back. So this is where the handy dandy towel comes in. And again, I've showed a few different exercises with the towel, but really easy, really simple. And it's beautiful because you're putting a load in through the lower body and upper body, and that load is transitioning. So you're putting a certain amount of tension in through the leg and in through the back or the arms or the shoulders at the same time. And because you're in control of the whole thing, you're able to basically keep the same amount of tension or resistance on the various muscle groups throughout the entire range of motion, which is, I mean, it's just beautiful. I just love it. All right, so we're going to start with the elbows high coming in from the shoulders. pulling the elbows back, and putting it in. So as the leg bends, so I'm pushing with the leg now, and I'm actually resisting with the shoulders, and I'm resisting with the leg and pulling in with the arms, right? So you can play with different versions. You can actually pull the elbows back and keep the legs straighter, so you're going to get a stretch in through the hamstring a little bit more, right? So really, you can just play with this, and it becomes a flexibility and a strength apparatus at the same time. All the while you are. This is my business partner Jeremy. We've been doing these workouts. Oh, he's not even. Oh no, it hasn't shown up yet. I'm streaming through Realstream, so he will show up momentarily here. A little bit of a lag. There he is. That's so fun. So yeah, we've got the towel now that we're incorporating, right? So that's shoulders, right? So you've got a little bit of shoulder work. And again, just play with the resistance level, right? You don't have to kill yourself if it's your first time using this. And you're going to want to keep your head and your eyes nice and straight, right? And as you pull in the elbows high, you're just going to resist coming down. So I'm resisting. I'm pulling with the arms now, resisting with the leg. Because of the position of my elbows, I'm hitting the posterior deltoids, the medial deltoids, right? So middle and back of the shoulder, as well as squeezing the shoulder blades together, and that's going to hit my rhomboids. And of course, at the same time, you are focused on your word. That word is associated with a picture, and as a result, you're rewiring the subconscious mind, you're reprogramming the mind, you're creating new neurology, and that new neurology is creating a shift in your chemistry and how you're feeling, in the chemistry that the body is creating. And the mixture of the thoughts and the feelings are sending out an electrical magnetic impulse of the thoughts that you're thinking. So you are becoming the creator, you're becoming the manifester of that which you desire. And oftentimes people shut off when I say that, but all of the sciences, the quantum sciences, quantum physics, epigenetics, that new model is telling us that without a doubt, a shadow of a doubt, we are not pre-programmed to a genetic destiny, a genetic future, which is to say that we're going to get or have or manifest the same conditions or disease or what have you that our parents did. It just doesn't work that way, that we have a choice. And when we choose to think about what we want, it's going to change how we feel. And when we combine those two things, the thinking and the feeling, we literally create physical evidence in the brain and body that future potential exists. And then we walk into it. So it takes us from a Newtonian. So I'm just going to switch gears here. I'm going to come back to that thought in a second. So keeping the elbows lower, you're going to engage the back. Okay, so in through the lats, you're going to make a nice thick or tapered or lean, depending on the level of resistance and your food levels and all that sort of thing. It's all going to have a bearing. But again, I'm keeping the elbows down. I'm doing that row from the back, and I'm resisting with the leg as I pull in, and I'm pushing with the leg and resisting with the back as I push out, right? So back to that thought that I was saying earlier, right? The quantum model of reality is causing an effect. So the old model is the Newtonian, and it's I'm going to perceive through my senses, and I'm going to look at all of the stuff, the results, the things, the people going on around me, and that's going to cause me to think certain thoughts, which is going to cause me to feel a certain way. And typically it's going to be uninspired, and I'm going to feel like a victim, and I'm going to play into that role. And that less inspired way of feeling and outlook on life is going to cause me to take the actions that are going to produce the same level of results. Whereas the quantum model is saying, no, I don't care what my results are currently. I don't care what the outside world is saying or is going on. I'm going to choose what I think about. Those thoughts are going to create a different set of feelings, a different set of chemistry in the body. I'm going to feel more inspired. I'm going to take more inspired action. That's going to cause me to become the creator, to change my results, right? And if you if that's all you get from this session, then that's more than enough. Sorry.
No. Yeah.
Right, so we're trying to figure out how the space works for co-working. We just moved in. We got different areas. We got an office, but it's not set up yet. So, but yeah, so this one is just coming in, right, and you're gonna increase your level of resistance with that. Okay, and we'll do one more with the towel. So this one is kind of fun, and this one essentially is it's basically an isometric, right? So, but there is a little bit of movement, and you're going to engage the legs and the glutes and the back as well. Right? So again, you just want to make sure the back is nice and flat, and you're going to pull up and in. And as you do that, you're going to straighten the legs. And then as you slowly bend the legs, you're going to pull with the arms and bend the arms and elbows and legs at the same time. So there's a load, there's tension going through both the legs and the back and a little bit of the shoulders at the same time. And you can really increase the level of resistance and keep that level of resistance on throughout the entire range of the movement. Right, and you can see, you can hear from the level of exertion and the level of being out of breath that I'm at, that you can really make this as intense as you choose. Right, so I'm really taking it nice and slow and really moving through that entire range of motion. Whoo! And so both the upper body and the lower body, the arms, the back, maybe a little bit in the shoulders, and the legs are really getting a beautiful, beautiful resistance and workout from that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the squats. Now again, you can play with this. You can change. The beautiful thing about the towel is not only is it workout apparatus, but you have something to wipe your brow. So, so with the squats, you can move into just a regular squat. Okay, again, you can add a jump to it, a jumping component. Right, or just regular squats. And as you come through, just making sure that you're pushing and squeezing through the glutes. Push the hips forward, the back stays nice and flat. Right? And all the while, again, you are focused on your words. Right? So what are those words? Right? Love, passion, ease, flow, wealth, health. Right? Whatever those words are, if you can focus on those and say them either out loud to yourself or in your own mind, you are going to rewire the brain. You are going to rewire the system. You're going to use the external stimulus of the exercises to induce an internal shift, an internal rewiring, an internal change in chemistry. And as you continue to do that, it's going to get easier, right? So the exercises really are a distraction, right? Because there's physical pain coming into the body. I can feel my legs starting to burn. I can feel the lactic acid starting to build up, right? I'm starting to breathe heavier. The heart's pounding. All these things, right, are to distract you away from the thoughts that you want, right? And so the opportunity, the invitation for you is to really come back to those words. And it's like losing focus. You know, the average person, science says, loses their attention or loses their focus 7 to 10 times a minute, right? So something like this, the pain in the body is going to be a distraction to distract you from what you're focusing on, what you're calling in, the rewiring process that you want to take place in the brain, and therefore changing the chemistry or the feelings in the body, right? But if you keep bringing yourself back, right, bringing yourself back to those words, right? So for mine, love, health, wealth, service, mission, and every one of those words for me is associated with a picture of what I'm calling into my life, right? And you can say them out loud, or you can say them to yourself. And because of the word, because of the associated picture or image in my mind, I'm generating a feeling in my physical form, right? I'm changing the chemistry. And chemistry is simply the wiring of genes. And genes create proteins, and proteins are responsible for the structure and function of our brain and body. And so what we're doing with this system is literally reprogramming the brain and body, reprogramming the cellular matrix from within, using exercise as an external catalyst. Just going to have a little bit of water here. All right, so I'm going to go back down to the push-ups. So if you're just joining and you want to join in, we've got squats, jump squats, combination alternating if you want. We've got a variety of push-ups. We've got some shoulder work with our towel. We've got some back work with our towel. And then we've got a combination deadlift / bent over row, also with the towel. And we're just running through. We're doing quite a number of repetitions today. And as a result, to go in combination with the exercise movements, we are focused on that mind to muscle to spiritual mastery and a literal rewiring of the subconscious mind, of the old belief systems and patterns, right? The subconscious literally is a paradigm, and a paradigm is simply a multitude of habits that are passed on to us from generation to generation, you know, and oftentimes it's saying that, you know, we are predestined to a future. You know, if our parents had a disease and we're going to have the same disease, and it's going to happen at the same time in our lives, and, you know, we don't really have any control over it. And that's the simplest component of it, right? That it's starting to feel it, that this lack of control is really giving our power away to, you know, something that's just not true anymore. And all of the new sciences are telling us that, you know, we have control. We're not predestined to a genetic future of, you know, if cancer runs in the family, or if heart disease runs in the family. You know, the old thought was, in the old biology and the old text and the old science would say, no, mom and dad had it, chances are I'm going to get it. And then we pre-program ourselves to that destiny, to that future. And all of the new sciences, so just, you can take that break in the push-ups if you want. You can add different ones, play with it. But all the new sciences are saying that, no, that we're not predestined to a biological future, that we have control over it by what we're choosing to think, what we're choosing to focus on. So, you know, the little train that was like, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right. I mean, Henry Ford said the same thing, right? It's like, or I guess the train was, think you can, I think I can, I think I can. No, it's been a long time. And Henry Ford was, whether you think you can or think you can't, you're right? So it's along the same lines, the same tokens as this. Just going to do a few more push-ups, so if you just joined, just do a few more with me. Right? So if you think that you're predestined to a genetic disposition, if cancer runs in your family and you're like, well, I guess I'm going to get it, then chances are you're going to get it. But all the new sciences are showing that we can choose not only a different genetic future, right? But we can actually become the manifestors, the creators of whatever we desire, right? But you first have to believe it. You first have to think it, you know, and in a great little book called As a Man Thinketh, says basically what we think we become, what we focus on all day long, that's what we become. So, you know, great question for you is, who are you pretending to be? And there's a great little study that was done with a bunch of, so what are we doing? We're doing shoulders, right? So coming in, elbows high, right, and pushing out. So pulling in, resisting with the leg, and resisting with the shoulders, coming down through. Pulling in and resisting. So this study that was done, it was, I think all the gentlemen were over 90 years old, right? And I'm gonna have to remember this. So this is a story actually from Dr. Joe that he tells, but basically they did all these measurements before, and I believe it was 7 days, 6 or 7 days, that these elder men over the age of 90 years old basically pretended that they were 20 years younger, right? So they were, they had magazines like of 20 years before that, and they had, just all the things, music that was playing that was 20 years younger. And so they literally were just pretending that they were 20 years younger. And it's getting hot, right? So continue, you're going to switch legs. And after the 7 days, 6 days, 7 days, whatever it was, all of their measurements were lower. They were taller. Their finger lengths were longer. They had more flexibility. A lot of them were playing like touch football without their canes, right? So they literally, just by thinking differently, just by pretending that they were younger, they literally became younger, right? So who are you pretending to be? What are you pretending to have or do, right? And because every time we think a thought, it either changes, instills, or strengthens a neurology component in the brain, right? And if we return to that thought over and over again, it's just going to get stronger. And we return to it and we look at it from different perspectives and different angles. It's going to build a whole network of neurology associated with that which we're thinking of, right? So if you're pretending to be in pain all the time, stressed out all the time, that you're in lack, that you're not worthy, well, guess what? That's the neurology you're building, and what we focus on grows. That's the chemistry that you're creating. So you're going to feel less worthy. You're going to feel more lack. You're going to feel more disempowered. And as a result, those are the things, those are the, I'm not going to say opportunities, but those are the things that are going to essentially show up in your life, right? So if, hopefully, so what are you choosing to focus on? Just want to make sure I'm still rolling here. And this says that I am. So is this saying that I am? It is. It is. Right. So what are you pretending? Who are you pretending to be? Right. And I would just say that, you are an infinite being. You are limitless. You have boundless energy. You literally are the universe perceiving itself through your lens at this particular time. All the math indicates this. Nassim Haramein wrote a unification physicist, wrote a paper called the Schwarzschild Proton, essentially proving that we are one, right? And so who are you pretending to be? Are you pretending to be a limitless being who's getting younger, more agile, and more brilliant with each passing day? Or are you pretending to be little old you that just doesn't have any choice, doesn't have any say in your life, doesn't have any control, doesn't have any, everything's being done to you, right? Are you playing the victim or are you playing the victor? And this really is what I'm talking about. Rewiring the body. My friend reached out to me that I grew up with. He was like, hey dude, can we talk about accessing my spiritual self? You all are spirits having a physical experience. If you're pretending anything different, then you're doing just that. You're pretending, right? If you're pretending that you're not a limitless being, then you're just pretending. So who are you pretending you are? Who are you calling into existence? right? And that's what this program, Mind to Muscle to Spiritual Mastery, really is about, is taking your mind, making it the component, the intentional component of movement, and using movement as a catalyst to transform not only our physical self, but to basically put back online our mental and spiritual self, to really change this physical meat suit looking thing into a transducer receiver, an electrical component to connect to the unified field or the quantum field, which is infinite. It's infinitely dense with energy. It's got infinite potential. And all of that energy and density is just information, right? And so we have access to this information of the quantum mind or the greater mind, greater consciousness, whatever you want to call it, right? And the fascial system, the muscle fascia that typically was just thought to essentially move the muscles, turns into a fiber optic cable-like quantum computing device. So we can literally, by what we're thinking, change this physical vessel into a profound information accessing system of infinite potential, of infinite energy, of limitless, boundless insight. And, it is said by many circles at this time that we are literally transforming from carbon-based beings to crystal-based beings. I believe it. I feel it in my cells. And I feel with the intentional movement system that I've created, I have more energy than I know what to do with. So the whole, I'm chronologically aging and I'm getting up there and I can't do the things that I once could do. It's just not true. It's just not true. I have more energy. My brain works better than ever. And it's because of the intentions that I set myself. It's because of my outlook. It's because of what I'm focused on. I could be focused on, I've had some injuries. I'm tired today. And, this happened to me and that happened to me. And I don't feel so good. And I could play the victim. Right? There's been lots of crappy things that have happened. But instead, I choose to believe, I have faith that all is divinely orchestrated on my behalf, for my greatest good. Right? And that, along with choosing to focus on where I'm going in my life, what I'm creating, right? It just changes everything. So, Einstein said that we can't change our problems or get out of our problems with the same level of thinking that created them. And I wholeheartedly agree. So, and focusing on the problem, if you're in lack, if you don't have money right now, if your business had to close and you're worried about the business being closed, well, that's kind of the problem. And if you focus on the problem, you're never going to see past it. You're never going to see your way out of it. You're never going to see the solution. And so, yeah, my business closed, or yeah, maybe I got sick, or yeah, something, perceived negative happens. But, to say when one door closes, another one opens. And so this happened. It's the problem. I'm aware of it. Now what's the solution? And focus on the solution with everything you got. And ask the questions. How am I going to change this? How am I going to make more money? What's the business I'm going to create? How am I going to provide more service? And as you continue to ask those questions and sit with them and focus on the solution, the answers will come. I promise you they will come, right? And so back to the exercise. What do we got going here for time? Just want to double check the time. We'll do, I have no idea. Anybody know how long this has been running? Oh, 40 minutes almost. So let's do one more round. It'll be push-ups first. Oh no, I forgot the squats. We're doing squats first. So we're squats. And again, you can just regular squats, right? Or you can add some jump squats in there, right? And again, as you're doing your movement, just make sure that you are focused on your word, that a word is associated with a picture. That is rewiring the subconscious mind. Our brains are in a neuroplastic state. The word and image send out an electrical impulse to the universe because of the catalyst of exercise. We're more passionate, we're more invigorated. Those words and associated pictures should induce a feeling, a change in chemistry in the body, which is the elevated emotion. It's the magnetic, it draws it back to you, right? And whoo, it's good. It's good. So love, passion, purpose, mission, divinity, gratitude, ease and flow, wealth, mission, service, right? So just whatever those words are, each one of those words for me has an image attached to it. I get a certain feeling in the body, and this invigoration, the passion from the movement turns that feeling into a vastly elevated emotion, and that elevated emotion is what draws that back to me. So I'm literally creating evidence in the brain and body that future potential exists. Okay, beautiful. So last round, we got about 5 minutes left. If you're just joining in, join me. You can jump in for just a couple of repetitions. Even a little bit of movement is improvement. So just jump into this last little set with me. All right, we're going to do push-ups again. Again, you can change the push-ups. You can go hop them, and you can go inner and outer. You can do a hand release at the bottom, changing positions. You can go one forward, one back. You can go side to side. Okay, so you can just play with it. Just a few more. Again, focused on your words. Love, passion, service, wisdom, mission, genius, ease, flow, gratitude. And if we know anything by now, we know that what we focus on grows. So what are you focusing on? Who are you pretending to be? What are you calling into your life? Right. This one's going to switch to high elbows. All right, coming up nice and high. We got our towel. One leg, then the other. We'll do both sides, 4 to 5 reps. All you're doing, keeping the elbows high, and then you resist with the arms and shoulders as you push with the leg. And as you pull in, you're resisting with the leg. Bringing the elbows nice and high so you're getting the posterior deltoids, the rhomboids because you're pinching your shoulder blades together. Right? And you can keep the same amount of resistance on the movement the entire way through. Keep your head and eyes neutral. I'm just kind of making sure I don't hit the walls too much. Right, keep them through. Increase the resistance as you want, as you can, as you feel called. And again, try to keep the same amount of resistance on the entire range of motion. And beautiful. And again, focused on your words, right? And those words creating images in the mind or affiliated with images in the mind, right? Because we think in pictures. So if you got the word, you need to have a picture of what you're calling in your life. And with the word and picture, you're rewiring the mind. You're creating stronger neurology. You're rewiring the subconscious mind to the paradigm, which is unconscious beliefs, habits, and patterns. Right? So you might have a belief that money's the root of all evil. Well, that's no good because not that money's the thing, but money creates freedom, creates a platform for you to be able to provide more service. Right? And so next one, your elbows are going to be in to the side, and this is going to be more of the back, lats. right? So if you've got a subconscious program about money and it's saying it's the root of all evil, then you're creating lack. And it's not top of mind. You're not thinking about lack. You're not thinking, hey, I love being poor. It's like, no, it's just, that's a subconscious belief that if you have money, you're going to be evil, which is completely untrue. So rewiring that pattern, that belief, that untrue belief is going to be made more viable by thinking of worthiness, of wealth, of service, of your mission, right? And each one of those, you see the money flowing into you. You see providing service to people. You see creating change and being the change in your world. You see the freedom that it creates for you and your family, right? And then the movement becomes a catalyst to take that thought and that image into an elevated emotion in the body. So you're literally reprogramming the cells. You're literally reprogramming the subconscious belief that money is the root of all evil into, no, it's good to have money. It's good to be wealthy. It's good to be able to provide service. It's good to be able to create whatever I want and have time and money freedom to spend with my family and my loved ones. We're just going to do a couple more. Whew, okay. Elbows in and just increase the resistance. Resisting with the leg, pulling with the arms, pushing with the leg, resisting with the arms and back. All right. Okay. So that was good. It was good. It was good. Last one here is our row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. And this last one is our combination deadlift / row. Again, we're just pulling as we straighten the legs, and then as the legs are straight and the arms are straight, we're going to pull with the arms, slowly bend into that. And of course, we're transitioning the weight from the upper body, the back, the arms, the shoulders, into the legs, and vice versa. So if you go nice and slow, you're going to feel resistance all the way through that movement. And all the way through the range of movement as well, which is quite a bit different than using weights, right? Because typically at the start of the movement, you're going to have more resistance, and as you make your way through the range of motion, it's going to gradually decrease. Whereas this, you can keep the same amount of tension on the muscle the entire range of motion, and it's also going through the legs and the arms and back all at the same time. So, and then of course you have your towel to wipe your brow with at the end. So, beautiful people. I'm going to leave that there for you. That was close to, I believe, 50 minutes or so. Yeah, 48 minutes. So again, if you missed the start of this, go back to the beginning. I talk a lot about the mind to muscle component, the intentional component of the movement throughout, and what that's actually doing in the brain and body for rewiring purposes and generating different chemistry. And touch a little bit on the quantum model of reality versus the Newtonian model and what that actually is. But beyond that, if you have more that you want to learn about these sessions, they're not going to last long. I'm going to do about another 2 weeks in here, and then they're going to move inside the connected community. If you want to know about the breath work, I've got breath work every Tuesday at 2:22 Eastern time. It's free on Zoom. Reach out, message me. If you want to join the connected community, I'll put the links in the comment section below for both the Zoom, the free breath Zoom, as well as the connected community, so you can check out more about that. We're going to have all kinds of recorded and live breathwork sessions, meditation sessions. These movement sessions, as I mentioned, are going to move inside of the connected community as well. And then beyond that, for the Mind to Muscle to Spiritual Mastery program, I am doing one-on-one work with people. I am kind of devising that program and finalizing it as we go. So if any of that's of interest, or if you just want to connect, please connect with me on here. Send me a private message. And hope this can be a part of your day, part of every day. And I hope that you live into a future you now that is limitless, more capable, more energetic, more abundant, and more creative than we've ever been told. So I hope that some of this resonates. I hope it helps. I hope you have a beautiful day. And just let go of the program thoughts of who you think you are to become who you really are. And remember who you really are, because it's so much more limitless. It's so much more powerful than we were ever told to believe. Sending you a lot of peace, a whole lot of love. We'll see you next time.